Good afternoon on this incredible Friday. Jeff community, Jeff family, how is everyone doing? It's been a bend don't break month, and we are hitting it full force. Guys, welcome to this ed session. It's been a while since I've actually done anything, and obviously this is just when it comes to all things training, this is something that I'm always excited about and always happy to give advice where I can. So guys, I'm just gonna pop in here on the live stream, and obviously today's subject is training around Ramadan. So I'm going to wait till a couple more people have jumped in. Obviously, guys, if you got any questions, pop it in the comments there. How's it, Pat? And I will get back to you if I don't cover it kind of during this, or if there's anything kind of more specifically that you would need, then just pop me a little bit of a DM. So, as I said, today is kind of training around Ramadan, and I'm going to kind of touch on a couple of things. I know Adrian's already also done a nutrition section on this as well, but I think they kind of generally go a little bit hand in hand, and these are the things that we are going to cover. So, guys, kind of training through this. Basically, depending on kind of where you live, your fasting period during Ramadan is going to be 14 to 16 hours. Okay, the main thing through this is the main kind of two aspects is kind of when you're going to train, and it's also just kind of getting the required when you're going to train, how you're going to train, and getting the required calories and hydration into it. Okay, so. What the first kind of thing that we just kind of need to make sure of is that in your eating windows, when you're breaking fast, if it's before or after iftar, is that you are consuming the adequate calories, and also focusing on that kind of on the protein, as well as your hydration. Okay, so the one thing that this is actually, during this just fasting period, is that this is very actually similar to intermittent fasting. Okay, very similar in terms of the windows, but the one thing is that during this time is that we are taking away the water intake. Okay, so that's one of the considerations we've got to take into it. Okay, so let's talk training times, before or after iftar. Right, so like the one thing, what research actually does show is that, muscle growth and or fat loss are really not actually significantly affected when it comes to the fasting. Okay, so as long as, like I said, as long as we are hitting the adequate calories, protein, and hydration, this should all kind of stay intact. However, the one thing that does happen is that there are these family events, right? So if you are, kind of knowing that you are going into that kind of situation, it's very important to take that into account. Just saying hi here, we've got ZT, we've got Wilma, Seema, how are you guys? Like I said, guys, if you've got any specific questions, please pop it here. So, when it comes to the training time, okay, the one thing, if you are kind of going to train, in the kind of early morning fasting window, then make sure before it hits, make sure that you are able to consume something and hydrate during that session as well. Right? If you are training during iftar itself, okay, make sure that the window up to the break of your fast is kind of within 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, why this is important is obviously kind of for the hydration. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit, and I just want to look first of all at kind of training volume or intensity. Okay, so oops, this chair is a little bit squeaky, so excuse me. So the one thing, when it comes to if you are training with weights or even without weights, okay, my big recommendation is to just decrease the volume or intensity. Okay, not too much, but I would say between 15 to 25% ish. Okay, whether that is decreasing the weight that you're using if you're doing kind of pure strength or resistance based training, or if you're doing kind of a more cardio based training, or just kind of high repetition, we just kind of decrease that a little bit. Okay. So depending on when you are doing it, let's say you're training during iftar itself, right? Now you're not able to hydrate yourself during this period. Okay, so why this is important is research shows that if you are in a kind of a semi-dehydrated state or a fairly dehydrated state, the risk for your injury is going to increase. Okay, so that's obviously the first thing we want to avoid. Trust me, from someone who is injured at this very point, it is not fun. It is very debilitating, and it doesn't make you feel good, right? It's harder to, if you are injured, it's harder to stick to your nutrition, so that's, we really, really, really want to avoid that. Okay, so for that, we just decrease. So let's say, for example, you're using a 10K weight, right? We need to decrease that to either an 8.5 or a 7.5 weight if you're doing a press. If it's a 5 kilogram as well, we're going to decrease that to about a 3.5 or a 3 kilogram weight. Okay, so that's number one. Now, actually, it shows, research also shows that kind of during the stage, you can either build muscle or you can lose fat at the same time, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so what you can actually even consider for this 4-week period is a bit of maybe a plateau breaker. Okay, if you are someone, whether you are on the one-on-one program, whether you are on club, and you're finding it difficult, maybe you've hit a plateau, you've been doing this kind of for a while, this is a good chance. Okay, so if we look at intermittent fasting or fasting in general, right, what is this doing? It is basically just kind of creating a smaller window for your calorie consumption. Okay, that's all it's doing. Okay, and because it's a shorter window, generally you're not able to eat as much. Okay, so if you need a kind of good mental reset, also kind of a great way, so that's and that really kind of just sums it up. Okay, the most important thing is going to be still to kind of keeping that consistent, and when breaking that fast, just not to go too overboard, like some people do on the weekends, right? It's very important to have a plan. Okay, even if this plan takes 10 minutes to do, I would highly suggest you do it. Okay, so it is kind of basically there's no right or wrong way to do it. If you train kind of early in the mornings, that's great, but you want to actually have that refuel period after. Okay, very important to decrease your weight or your rep ranges in this time as well. Who've I got there? Lauren, how you doing, girlfriend? Cool. So there's a couple of key points here that's really kind of just want to run through. Okay, so muscle loss, number one. Okay, just because you're fasting, that does not mean that muscle loss will occur. Obviously, if you structure and time your workouts well, either doing it very early or later in the day, and are able to replenish or refuel yourself with adequate protein, calories, and hydration, muscle loss will not occur, and fat loss will still occur in this as well. Okay, like I said, you can train before or iftar, but my suggestion, personal preference, would be to train afterwards, so that you are able to hydrate during your workout. Okay, if you are dehydrated, then that's where the risk of injury is increased. Okay, when it comes to the training itself, whether you're doing purely cardio, purely strength, or resistance training, or a mixture of both, it is a good idea to just lower the weight and lower the intensity by 15 to 25%. How's it, man? My girl, how are you doing? Sorry to get distracted there. So when it comes to the nutrition, okay, the important thing is to look at this as a 4-week window or plateau breaker. Okay, as generally your caloric intake, or the calories that you are going to be taking in, are going to be lower than usual because of this window. Okay, and the key thing is to be able to prioritize your hydration. Okay, very important. And I mean I think avoiding injury is definitely going to be the key thing. Okay, so I'm going to take some questions maybe from anyone that is in here, and we can actually look at maybe more kind of specific training questions. So you got any questions? Let me know. Like I said, I am available for anyone that has any more detailed questions. Doesn't want to maybe answer in the comment section here. Open up a DM, right? I'm going to actually put my cell phone number here as well, where you can WhatsApp me directly. Okay, careful guys. Some people pay a lot of money for this number. 6. Cool. So while I've got everyone here, who's got any questions? I think the important thing is to, as with kind of anything, is to not overcomplicate it. Okay, you don't want to kind of be, this is already quite a taxing mental task. So don't overcomplicate things. Try to keep it as simple as possible. Keep training, adequate eating, adequate hydration. And if it's fat loss you're looking for, you're generally going to find that it will probably work. Okay, so question time away, and during this time I'm going to actually kind of be talking, let's say, about what I'm going to be doing for my next 4 weeks. Okay, I've obviously had a little bit of injury site. It's been very difficult to train at full force. It's not a great thing, but also going to be kind of documenting my kind of transformation, for lack of a better word, over the next good couple of weeks, and I'm going to be keeping accountable. That's the main thing. So whether you are kind of fasting during Ramadan or not, the main thing is to be using your club app, guys. Be tracking your training, assessing yourself. Okay, that is very important. Okay, but not to be overly critical on the numbers. Okay, assess exactly where you are, look at where you are, look at what you want to do, and 5 out of 7. Hit those 5 out of 7 nutrition days, hit those 5 out of 7 workout days, and really consistency over time is going to trump any volume or any intensity. Okay, so I'm going to try to go 150% one day and then not be able to do it the next day. Rather do 80%, 70% day after day after day after day after day. Okay, so I'm gonna, in the comment section here as well, I'm gonna leave my kind of the kind of key points of the messaging here, because this doesn't actually have to be too complicated. Just to kind of end off once again, muscle loss doesn't need to be a concern. If you're getting adequate protein, hydration, and calories before, whether it is before or after. Okay, you also, in the same breath, you can train before or after iftar. But like I said, I suggest training after so that you can still hydrate during your training. However, if your schedule or your timeline doesn't allow that, then there isn't too much. Too huge of a difference, okay, as long as you are hydrated before and after. Then when it comes to training itself, important to lower the weight or the volume by 15 to 20%, whether it is the weight itself or the number of reps or the intensity of it. And 4-week window as a plateau breaker, because the consumption time is going to be a hell of a lot shorter, and prioritize the hydration during these feeding windows. So Lauren, you followed IF last year, ate breakfast at 12, lunch, okay, so window was huge, broke my fast egg, and did that for 6 months. So okay, so Lauren, you tried that. How did that actually work for you? And what were your goals more specifically at that time? I see here Visal says fasting and training is hard. I need to train at 4:30 a.m. to make sure I'm strong enough. Well, good. That is amazing. Waking up at 4:30, not easy. And once you had finished training, you still able to, and I mean, Were you able to hydrate and refuel and replenish yourself afterwards? If so, massive respect, girl. Yeah, it is like I said, I think this is probably a more mental task than anything to do it. And I think. And I've had clients kind of on plateau plans, and it's usually kind of also about between 3 to 4 weeks. And once they come through that, how strong and how powerful and how much they realize what is possible and capable within themselves is also kind of truly amazing. So well done to you, girl. I hope it is going well. And if you ever need some kind of support or motivation, also just let me know, and I will be there to help you. So guys, like I said, I'm gonna leave my yeah, there we go. So if you Vassal also had quite a lot to do in the evening, and I might be wrong in assuming it could have been kind of family events and stuff as well, or kind of the social or religious gatherings. So that could prove to be challenging. So good for you for prioritizing it first thing in the morning and getting it done. The same way I actually say to my clients, if you do, if exercise is kind of fairly new to you, or you've never gotten into this rhythm before, then definitely train first thing in the morning. If you do that, then we're all living our lives kind of by these calendars, kind of day by day. There's nothing that can sneak into your calendar and throw your day for a loop. So how's it, Lisa? How are you doing, girl? Thanks for checking in. So guys, like I said, I'm going to pop everything into the comments. Should you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. It's been amazing to do the session. I hope I provided some insight. If there's anything more detailed you need, as all Jeff coaches, we're all here. We want to help you. We want to see you guys do well. So let's finish off Friday, finish off this week like I hope you started, and we will chat on the flip side. Just to finish off, Lauren did it, her IF results were great, massive body shape. So I think maybe 6 months could have been maybe a bit of a long time to do it. Trained CrossFit and Jeff, so it could have been a little bit of overtraining as well. Definitely fatigued. So I think if you're trying to do different styles of training, it's to balance them out. And also obviously making sure that you've got adequate refueling yourself adequately within the kind of IF window, as well as giving yourself enough recovery time as well. So it's not to try to do double up 2, 3, or 4 sessions a day. So that could possibly help. Anyways, guys, it has been absolutely real. Thank you for coming to my Jeff talk, and I'm available for anything you guys need. Let's have a great rest of Friday, finish off the week strong, go into the weekend with positive intent, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.